Hello, in this demonstration, I'm going to continue my exploration of neutral colors using as subject matter Japanese Zen rock gardens. So here's one that I have printed out, and not only is the composition design beautiful, but it's a wonderful example of the richness of neutrals. I've got some beautiful dark grays in here, lighter sort of gray whites, and then this beautiful textured patterning. And then I love this back wall here, this sort of yellow ochre clay color. There's a little bit of moss green in there. And then again, the beautiful patterning of this tiled wall. So I'm just going to use this as inspiration. And I'm going to do, actually, at the end, I'll show you, I've got 3 other studies, but here I put a wash ground of raw umber, and then I've pre-mixed my neutrals, which are a Dyke Brown and a titanium white. Here's my gradient scale. I've mixed some over here. Basically, I've just got 3 neutral grays I'm going to be working with, and then I'll bring in some other colors towards the end. And I'm not going to follow that garden design exactly. I'm going to work a little bit more spontaneously. And I'm going to start by laying out my composition using little strips of cut cardboard. I cut them on an angle so I have wider and smaller um, surface areas. And I'm just going to go for it. So it's going to be loose. At least that's my intention. So this is going to be the back wall. I'm going to shift the rocks around a little bit, different position. Okay, so there's a general loose structure that I can build upon. So now let's see. I'm going to use round and just small brushes. Okay, so I think I will start maybe with my lightest mixture up here and plop those colors in. A little bit of water. And as I put the colors in, the neutral gradations, I want to be sure to let some of that burnt umber, no, raw umber wash show through. I'm starting out with the paint kind of thin, and then I can build it up a little bit more. So I'm thinking this is a rock wall back here. I'm going to go for my middle range gray. Okay, now I'm going to get that color of that back wall. And what I did was I mixed, this is a little bit of yellow ochre with Mars yellow, and then I toned it down with the Van Dyke brown. I'm going to go probably for that color right there. Okay, then I also mixed, I'm just going to pretend this is the sky, and I mixed it's called a tropical green. The equivalent in golden is a phthalo green light. And again, I toned it down by adding some of the Van Dyke brown. Okay, so now I want to bring in a little more contrast. So I'm going to go back to my Van Dyke brown. And right now, I'm just really having fun applying the paint and playing with the color, the interaction of color. Keeping it neutral, but playing with the contrast. Now I'm going to make these stones on the wall a little bit darker, and I'm going thicker globs of Impasto paint. Going to define these lines a little bit more. Now I'm doing some Sgrafitto with this serrated palette knife for a little bit of contrast and texture. Okay, now I'm adding in some of that darker mixture with the Mars yellow. And then I think I want to go a little thicker on the rocks. I want to go a little bit more Impasto paint, build it up a little bit more. Okay, so I think you get the basic idea of working with limitations um, in terms of the neutral color palette, and then bringing in real like a little bit of contrast, but still very toned down on a raw umber background. Now I'm going to show you some of the other studies I did and using different background washes. So let me move this over. Here's a Zen Garden study with a burnt sienna background. That's what that one looks like. So a little bit warmer. This is a little bit softer, maybe more somber. Okay, I didn't tone down the sky in that one. All right, the next one I did, this is a sepia wash, which I was surprised. It has a kind of a greenish cast. And here's this Zen Garden study. Again, using exactly the same color palette for all four, which is a nice thing to do because you can see how the background wash impacts the same colors, different feeling. And then this one I used a Quinacridone Magenta background wash, same color palette. Okay, so this has a little more pop. I think if I were to do it again, instead of the Quinacridone Magenta, I might go for like a cadmium red. And so really with these simple studies, just playing with color interaction. So I'll put all of them out. If I can fit them on the screen. So these are all verticals. And then the last one I decided I'm going to go horizontal. That one. And that one. So these. So you can get quite a bit of variety even with these limitations. Okay, and that is it for Zen Garden studies in neutral with different background washes.